Powerful energy radiated around a confident young man with dark hair as he stepped forward, capturing the crowd's attention with his presence. A wave of alarm surged through a determined martial artist with dark hair as he observed the gathering of five principals. He realized it wasn't just five principal, but others had also arrived. His heart raced, sensing the rising tension in the air. Beams of light illuminated the figures, creating an imposing presence against the backdrop. The atmosphere grew heavy, filled with authority and anticipation. Ranking board glowed brightly, revealing Sheng's impressive position. He stood in shock, realizing his achievement had surpassed all expectations. A wave of surprise washed over a group of characters as they reacted to the news of Sheng's progress. An elderly man with glasses shared a proclamation about a challenge for martial artists under 30, speaking with determined intensity. A hooded figure spoke with a serious tone, sharing that those who break through the 24th floor would receive 3 days of his advice. Determined martial artists spoke with intense focus about the opportunity to become a disciple for those who could break through the 25th floor. Air thickened with tension as stood before a towering structure, dark tendrils swirling ominously around it. He realized Sheng was already on the 27th floor. A serious man in a suit gestured towards the audience, emphasizing the need to report achievements to their superiors once the challenge concluded. Sheng held the #1 ranking, pride radiating from his stance as he stood before the ranking display. Excitement buzzed in the air as a young man with dark hair expressed astonishment over Sheng's qualification as the martial saint's disciple. Another character shared that Sheng shattered the record at the St. Martial Tower. He confidently predicted that no one would surpass Sheng's achievement for at least 50 years. Intense energy surrounded, making him appear both fearsome and powerful. He emitted a terrifying aura that sent a chill through the crowd. Others commented that Sheng must be the strongest 7th St. Martial University to date. A confident character excitedly gestured to the group, proclaiming that someone was already the strongest freshman. A towering structure loomed, inspiring awe in a young man with dark hair. Brother Sheng expressed his admiration for his incredible abilities, received the praise with a proud smile, acknowledging the support. A young man with dark hair looked up at with sparkling admiration. He expressed that would always be his inspiration for life. A curious discussion erupted as a worried and anxious young man with dark hair expressed his confusion about Sheng's sudden appearance. Sudden movement startled the young man with dark hair as someone swiftly grabbed his phone. He reacted in shock, unable to comprehend the unexpected theft. A hand pinched the edge of a webpage, showcasing Sheng's impressive accomplishments. The instructor rated Sheng's skills as beyond the inner discernment stage. He had cleared an unprecedented AAA rank mission, astonishing everyone involved. A confident character proudly boasted about Sheng's strength, claiming she had discussed his achievements long before anyone else recognized them. Revelation washed over a young man with dark hair as he expressed shock at Sheng's extraordinary strength. The young man with dark hair stood in contemplation, realizing he had overlooked a powerful figure's presence. He thought about his previous blindness of strength. Swirling blue energy filled the air, signaling an impending clash of martial arts. Prepared to engage in battle, his focus unwavering. Swirling cosmic energy surrounded a determined martial artist, marking a pivotal moment in his journey towards mastery. Reflected on his growth, recognizing this opportunity as essential for his development. Fierce determination radiated from him, blood streaking his face as he acknowledged his opponent's strength with newfound respect. The older man with a solemn expression gazed downward, contemplating the swirling blue energy that surrounded him. A glowing sword illuminated the surroundings as a fierce and determined martial artist raised it high, embodying confidence amidst a mystical backdrop. A ghostly figure loomed before a determined martial artist, shrouded in a desolate landscape that echoed with tension, hesitated, feeling a chill as he faced the specter. The determined martial artist stood triumphantly on a rocky peak, radiating power and asserting his dominance over opponents, declared that he was stronger. A powerful figure commanded the glowing blue energy around him to dissipate. A serene glow enveloped the determined martial artist as he activated his recovery energy. The determined martial artist exhaled deeply, focusing intently on his recovery as the weight of the moment pressed down on him. The determined martial artist envisioned his ascent to the 7th level of the martial master realm, confident a final duel would bring him closer to his goal. A powerful energy beam erupted from the ground, catching the attention of a young man with dark hair. He reacted with surprise to the sudden phenomenon. A powerful energy blast surged from his hands, illuminating the air with an intense determination. Swirling blue energy enveloped a confident and powerful figure, radiating strength and determination. He projected energy, declaring he had reached the great martial master realm. The powerful figure enveloped in a mystical blue aura focused intently, channeling energy into the air as the atmosphere crackled with anticipation. A fiery backdrop surrounded a determined martial artist, who realized the Martial Saint Tower was harnessing its power for a significant moment. He noted that his spiritual power was not absorbed this time. The determined martial artist leaped into action, surrounded by explosive energy, ready to test his true strength. The fiery backdrop intensified as a confident and combative figure prepared for confrontation. He called for the final banquet to begin, ready to face whatever challenge awaited. A triumphant ranking list shimmered, and Sheng stood proudly at the top. A stunned young man with dark hair stared in disbelief at the rankings board, processing the shocking news. A tense atmosphere filled the room as a young man with dark hair appeared startled, his worried expression revealing his concern for someone unseen. A worried young man with dark hair watched the group, sensing the rising tension in the air. A radiant display lit up the arena, signaling a monumental achievement that electrified the crowd. It set a new record, pride swelling within him as he basked in the moment. A shocked young man with dark hair reacted to something unseen, his eyes wide with surprise as he absorbed the unexpected moment around him. The crowd gathered, buzzing with excitement, as they eagerly awaited the entrance of a central figure drawing attention. A female crowd member called out about witnessing a historical moment. A male crowd member shouted enthusiastically about Sheng's upcoming appearance. Eager and enthusiastic, shared his excitement with friends, their faces lighting up with anticipation as they waited for what was to come. The darkened stage held 2 faint footprints, hinting at a reveal that sparked curiosity in the eager martial artist. The dimly lit crowd buzzed with murmurs, revealing a sense of surprise and anticipation. Observed the crowd, clearly caught off guard by the unexpected turnout. A triumphant laugh erupted from a confident young man as he reveled in the astonishment of those around him. The girl eagerly pleaded for friendship, her hopeful eyes fixed on the confident young man, who responded with a casual assurance, amusement dancing in his expression. The smug young man with dark hair addressed the group, his lecherous smile unnerving those around him. Moments later, one woman expressed her discomfort about him. Another woman agreed, voicing her fear of the young man. The determined martial artist approached a laughing man with a briefcase, ready to confront the source of amusement, expressed his irritation at the unknown man's laughter. Suddenly, a young man with dark hair spun rapidly, caught off guard by the unexpected turn of events. The crowd gasped as a conflicted and remorseful young man with dark hair turned away, feeling the weight of their shocked stares. A tense atmosphere hung in the air as confronted an unseen opponent with fury. He shouted in anger, demanding to know who the person was. The determined martial artist confronted an unseen obstacle, his expression fierce and unwavering. He expressed frustration, stating someone had been in his way. A defiant young man with dark hair knelt, looking up at another who stood dismissively with an outstretched arm. Tense silence enveloped the room as, restrained, reacted in shock to an unexpected threat. A furious young man with dark hair shouted angrily at, who remained composed and unyielding in the face of confrontation. An explosion erupted, sending shockwaves through the air, leaving a young man with dark hair stunned and wide-eyed. As swirled around two figures, the tension thick enough to slice through the air, walked confidently towards the scene, his goal clear in his mind. The silent companion matched his pace, a neutral presence beside him. A tense moment hung in the air as confronted the larger opponent blocking his path. He questioned whether it was right to obstruct him. Struggled against an unseen force, gasping for breath and feeling desperation claw at him. A surge of energy erupted as executed a swift motion, his determination unmistakable. Lay on the ground, defeated and in pain, the weight of his struggles evident in his desperate expression. The chaotic scene unfolded as several characters reacted in shock and worry, their voices rising in frantic calls for their boss. They yelled out, desperate to know if Brother Meow was okay. Another panicked figure echoed the alarm, their voice trembling with fear. A shocked character covered his ears, unable to bear the cacophony around him. Chaos erupted as observed the frantic crowd, all desperately trying to awaken their fallen boss. The urgency in their actions heightened the tension in the air. A towering structure loomed ahead, shrouded in mystery as a young man with dark hair approached it with determination. He wondered if they had just witnessed the birth of a new legend. A loud, boastful voice filled the air, proclaiming the strength of Sheng to anyone who would listen. The crowd erupted in cheers, celebrating Sheng's remarkable victory and his impact on 7th St. Martial University. A fan shouted praises, exclaiming Sheng was unbeatable. Confident and reflective, stood before the cheering crowd, amusement lighting up his expression as he acknowledged their enthusiasm. Confident, a young man with dark hair addressed the crowd, claiming that neither could contain his incredible abilities. A poised woman in a red dress observed the lively crowd, feeling a sense of satisfaction as the excitement filled the air. A dramatic event unfolded before the crowd, capturing the attention of a young man with dark hair. He was amazed to learn a freshman had broken the 7th St. Towers record. Still, he couldn't shake the feeling of disbelief at such unexpected drama. A sense of urgency filled the air as a determined, martial artist urged a focused woman to find her classmate amidst the chaos. The confident woman playfully gestured, revealing she had already found him too. Heavy silence settled over the scene, as a young man with dark hair contemplated his growing sense of sorrow. A surprised character gestured towards, questioning if the one they sought was indeed Sheng. The crowd buzzed with excitement as a young man with dark hair stood slightly embarrassed but smiling, reacting to the playful teasing around him. A reflective moment enveloped her as she acknowledged her past arrogance with regret. Tension hung in the air as one young man with dark hair reached out, desperate to comfort the upset girl pulling away from him. Tension crackled as a young man with dark hair grasped his companion's arm, but she forcefully pulled away, her annoyance clear. Tension escalated as a young man with dark hair confronted another character with a smug smile. He questioned the other's hearing, suggesting he hadn't listened to her plea to let go. A chaotic clash erupted as a young man with dark hair kicked another character, while a third stood by, shocked and alarmed. Confrontation ignited as a smirking and aggressive character gripped the frightened's head tightly, disdainfully questioned this audacity to touch his brother's woman. Smoke billowed around as a confident and aggressive young man charged forward, fury radiating from him. He attacked the terrified character, who cried out for mercy. The defeated character lay motionless on the ground, while a pensive and frustrated young man with dark hair analyzed his limitations, wondered why he couldn't match Sheng's overwhelming presence. A cheerful young man with a spear gestured toward a surprised female character. He asked if she was Yan Yuan, mentioning that Sheng invited her for a meal. A cheerful young man with dark hair introduced himself as a lackey, suggesting a tour for her, who seemed curious about the offer. A flustered female character expressed her shock and denial about their relationship, with an exclamation that echoed the awkwardness of the moment. A wave of panic washed over the anxious young woman as she processed the shocking revelation. She thought was really Yan Yuan's classmate, feeling doomed. Sat silently across from the vice principal, anxiety evident in his posture and expression, the vice principal spoke with a calm and reassuring demeanor. Man praised Sheng for his incredible performance, noting he broke the record at the Marshall St. Tower on his first attempt. A confident man in a suit delivered news about special rewards for her, highlighting a new record at the Marshall St. Tower. Sudden revelation sparked curiosity in the room, as a young man with dark hair expressed surprise about the existence of credits for challenging the tower. A knowledgeable man with glasses explained the reward system for breaking records at the Marshall St. Tower, capturing his attention. A tense moment filled the room as a young man with dark hair expressed his surprise about the unexpected rewards. The determined martial artist sat on the couch, contemplating his future. He expressed a desire to graduate as soon as possible. A surprised man with dark hair stood in an office, his eyes wide as he processed shocking news. He exclaimed in disbelief about what he had just learned. Thoughtful silence enveloped the room as a determined martial artist adjusted his glasses, peering deep in contemplation. A calm atmosphere filled the modern room as a figure gestured confidently, giving instructions, responded affirmatively, ready to follow the directive. A serious atmosphere enveloped the room as a determined martial artist held the phone, preparing to make a crucial call. A serious tone filled the air as a determined martial artist spoke into the phone, concern etched across his face, conveyed his presence to the caller. Contemplative young man with dark hair suggested waiting a little longer, pondering the situation at hand. Tense silence filled the room as he held the phone tightly, struggling to process a shocking revelation. Thoughtful man in a suit reflected on Sheng's impressive performance while speaking into the phone. A burst of energy surged as a determined martial artist dashed forward, ready to prove himself, ran with fierce determination. A confident rising star dominated the popularity ranking, sending waves of excitement through the crowd. He stood confidently, revealing his achievement as the strongest freshman in the history of 7th St. Marshall University. Intense atmosphere enveloped the arena as Sheng reached out menacingly towards his opponent below. The gathered audience eagerly speculated about his strength in the upcoming match. Fierce determination ignited within him as he unleashed a dazzling display of combat skills, channeling raw elemental power to assert his dominance. Hopeful energy filled the air as he contemplated his potential to reach the martial master realm while still in college. Excitement surged through the crowd as students celebrated Sheng's remarkable victory, their voices echoing with cheers and enthusiastic shouts. A reflective atmosphere enveloped the quarter as he sipped his drink, observing the lively girls practicing martial arts. He thought about how boldly they spoke and acted. A casual atmosphere surrounded a young man with dark hair as he spoke to a female character. He commented on the ridiculousness of the day's situation and noted the unexpected crowd. A cheerful female character praised for his spectacular achievements, calling him dazzling and recognizing his busy schedule. Nostalgic mood hung in the air as he hesitated, wondering if he could still meet up with someone in the future. A cloud of confusion enveloped a young man with dark hair as he held a can, questioning the intentions of those around him. A calm and composed man explained that these issues were minor and not worth much concern. A sense of boredom loomed as a young man with dark hair gazed out the window, yearning for a challenge to ignite his spirit. He remarked that it gets boring without fierce competition. A cheerful and engaging young man smiled at someone in the room. He recalled something important, realizing he had forgotten. A vibrant atmosphere buzzed as he excitedly pointed at multiple dishes, his enthusiasm palpable. The chef stood shocked, unable to keep up with the enthusiastic demands. A whirlwind of excitement filled the air as he prepared a meal, his energy radiating with each movement. He smashed the food down with determination, fully immersed in the task at hand. The determined martial artist enjoyed a large meal, while overhearing discussions about Meow's recent failure at the 7th St. Marshall University. Lively discussion unfolded as two characters exchanged rumors about a freshman's surprising strength. One character expressed disbelief at the rumors surrounding the freshman's recent victory. The other character shared exaggerated details about the freshman's incredible feat. Doubt filled the air as curiosity ignited among their peers. A group of characters gathered, their laughter echoing with smug confidence about a freshman's unexpected victory. The cocky and boastful character speculated whether the strong contender had any real skills. A mocking smirk crossed his face as he observed another's foolishness unfold before him. He noted the typical case of acting tough. He struggled to maintain his composure while preparing food, reminding himself to stay calm despite the distractions around him. He told a humorous story about Meow, laughing as he recounted the embarrassing moment of fear and mishap during the confrontation. Food splattered across the table, chaos erupting as he stood startled by the sudden mess. A wave of distress washed over him as he gripped his shirt tightly, anxiety coursing through his veins. Tension filled the air as one young man with dark hair yelled defensively, insisting he had not wet his pants despite the accusations. It gripped the room as the young man with dark hair looked around, his eyes wide with terror. A concerned woman stood nearby, her expression filled with fear. Another young man with dark hair darted glances, clearly shocked by the unfolding chaos. A furious young man with dark hair threatened Meow, warning him that shouting would lead to his next hit. A furious young man with dark hair threw a powerful punch at an unseen target. A fierce young man with dark hair unleashed a powerful punch, energy swirling around his hand as he struck his opponent. A tense atmosphere hung in the air as a young man with dark hair stood frozen, eyes wide in disbelief, reacted with shock towards an unseen figure. A determined martial artist held Meow's hand tightly, frustration boiling over as he confronted his rival about matters. A confident young man with dark hair announced his challenge to the 4th Martial Tower, seeking to prove his strength without hesitation. A confident young man with dark hair threw his opponent into the air, showcasing his strength and control. A desperate young man with dark hair crouched on the ground, hands clasped on his head, surrounded by menacing shadow figures. A shocking revelation rippled through the crowd as a determined martial artist processed Meow's impressive ranking and the implications it carried. He expressed disbelief about how Meow had been outperformed, questioning the fighter's true abilities. Tense atmosphere enveloped the group as they reacted to the mention of Sheng's name. An eager young man with dark hair called for everyone to gather quickly. A skeptical young woman dismissed the urgency, questioning the need for such a reaction. Sheng's identity sent shockwaves through the crowd, stirring a mix of excitement and fear. He stood confidently, sword in hand, as two observers expressed their curiosity about the freshman's true nature. A sly and provocative character with purple hair smirked while holding a whip, exuding confidence. She taunted, challenging his courage with a mocking tone. Excitement surged through the group as they recognized powerful senior students. They responded defiantly, asserting that Meow does not represent all of them. The determined martial artist raised his fist, igniting a fierce rallying cry among eager fighters. He inspired the crowd to defend the tower and defeat Sheng. A wave of surprise rippled through the group as the martial tower's rankings were announced. The students reacted with shock, exchanging wide-eyed glances. A shockwave of disbelief surged through the crowd as they saw Sheng's name rise to first place on them. A commanding presence filled the room as he called everyone to attention at the student council meeting. An ominous atmosphere enveloped the room as a determined martial artist contemplated the freshman before him, reflected on the unique presence among the new students. An intense atmosphere surrounded the room as the vice principal announced Sheng, the rising star and formidable scholar from the east. A tension-filled meeting unfolded, with everyone waiting for a solid plan to move forward. Sheng looked annoyed while demanding a clear plan from him. A sense of uncertainty filled the air as a frustrated young man with dark hair held a piece of paper, questioning his own abilities. He wondered what he could do against Sheng, whose title as the Demon King echoed through the school. Various characters reacted in shock at the mention of Sheng, expressing their fear and anxiety about his presence. Blue energy crowded around a confident and imposing figure as he approached the scene with defiance, questioned if he was not welcome there. If you'd like to see your favorite titles retold, leave a comment, and I'll be sure to pick some of them up from time to time. Also, let me know which video format you like more, long videos or short ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again soon.